Our purpose here today is to talk a little bit about fundraising and service projects. To let you know that we do have a couple of tools to help you as we go forward we start off the school year and start thinking about these fundraising and service projects that we can do. Yeah, I can share those with you. We have a lovely fundraising guide that Adam made. Adam is awesome. We all know this. So I'm going to share that with you. And this is on our website. And it's also, if you go to emig.org and you click on advisors, and then on the left-hand menu, there's like a lesson plan tab. There's like a Google Drive. Actually, I should just give you the link to the Google Drive. But there's a ton of different tools that are available to you guys for help with your delegation. And you can tell your advisors about this too. This is just a couple of the tools that we have in there. So there are lots of different aspects to fundraising. There's planning, organizing, and then coming up with the actual like event idea itself. So planning, you really have to think about when, first you got to brainstorm your topic, but then you have to think about when is the best time to have this fundraiser. So traditionally, we like you guys to have them kind of earlier in the year, or if you're raising money for next year, you can have it whenever. But final payments are usually due in October for middle school and late January for high school. So it's good to have like maybe one early fall, maybe one in spring to help you start a nest egg for next year. So you got to come up with what you're going to do and then the time of year that you plan on doing it. And obviously if you plan something like holiday themed, it would have to be like Halloween, then you would have to do it like right around Halloween. And then you start thinking about what are the costs for putting this on? And then how much does each student need to be there? So is this a full delegation thing, or do we need just a couple of people to run this? Transportation costs, all that good stuff. So you have to think about the cost into planning this as well. And then organizing, it's really good to think about advertisement. I think that's the biggest thing that people don't always think about. Adam, do you want to talk about advertisement? Because I know this is kind of your forte a little bit.
Sure. I don't know. I guess the biggest thing is being catchy, being funny, being something that people are actually going to pay attention to when you're making your advertising. The more eyes you get on it, the more likely people are going to show up to it. So making it worth your time and making it a quality ad. I don't know. What are some funny ads you guys have seen that you have been like, oh, wow, I'm going to go buy that product now? Is there anyone?
That one with the water bottle on Mars from the Super Bowl.
Oh, yes. Or there's also like really terrible advertisements. Like personally, I hate Flo from Progressive. I'll never give Progressive insurance because I can't stand Flo. And then her second, like her little sidekick, that dweeby guy, don't like him either.
So annoying. They're so annoying.
They're so awful.
What about Emu and Ted or whatever his name is?
Emu. Oh, I love that
and
one.
And Doug.
Yes. Is that the one where at the Sonic? Or no, the Sonic commercials.
Yeah, those I like those too. Ones. Those ones
but then there's also really then there's the Old Spice ones that don't make any sense, but we all watch them.
Or Chew 5 Gum.
Yep. Yeah. So I guess you can take your advertising for your fundraiser any direction you want, but
I know some fundraising that we've done in our school before, or that other programs have done, is like taking tweets and putting them up around the school,
gotcha.
Like kind of doing like jokes on DJT's tweets, but also I think that was funnier in 2016 than it is now.
Right.
You guys are really the experts too of what's going on, like what's trending right now, what's gonna excite people to help with your fundraising. So thinking about that'll really help guide what you're doing for your fundraiser and your advertisement too. You want a catchy slogan, a gimmick, and what Adam was talking about, looking at what's advertising right now, what gets people like excited or what's really annoying. Like think about those things when you're planning your advertisement.
I mean, memes are always a solid choice too. So if you can get some good memes off of it.
Even bringing in teachers, like, I don't know, if you can get like a popular teacher to volunteer for like, hold a raffle, a chance to like pie a teacher in the face or something like that. Like those are always super popular.
That is true.
Or noodle fights between teachers where it ends up they're just
scooters?
wrestling. Yeah.
On scooters? Oh, yeah.
Not good during COVID.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But
yeah, pieing in the face probably isn't good during COVID either.
I don't think, yeah.
So it's good that you brought that up. So there's a lot of different things that go into creating a fundraising event. Obviously, you got to break it down, you got to make an outline and all that, who's going to be involved. But the biggest thing right now that, we should probably talk about is obviously things are very different now because of COVID. So what are some fundraisers that you think could work during COVID, or that you think, might be you might be able to edit a fundraiser or like change it to be COVID friendly?
I have an idea.
Yeah.
So, a good idea would be like to do like car washes, because like a person could just stay in their car while you do. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I think of. It's not really much human interaction because they're inside their car and you're like outside of it. So like it minimizes like exposure, I guess.
Yeah. Miles, did you have one?
Renting out parking spaces for a week.
Ooh.
Maybe like in front of your school, like the first few parking spaces that, it's not assigned to anyone, but you can assign them.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I've never heard that one before. That's pretty
Good,
cool. That's a good one.
That's very good. One delegation last year at DLR was talking about how they like teachers would give them, I think, $10 or $20 or whatever X amount toward their fundraising goal if they would clean off snow from their cars. So if you're in person, or if you're hybrid right now, but you're in school, you could do that. That could be a good one that, you don't have to really come into contact with anybody. You just kind of clean off their car, the snow from their car. So that could be a good one.
Safely.
Yeah.
I know.
Any other good ideas? Oh, go ahead.
One idea that I heard that another school is doing down in Texas is they're doing kind of a talkathon, or like a demonstration where you hop on a Zoom, you in order to get the link or whatever, you set up like a paywall. I'm not really sure how they're going to set it up, but then like get parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles to show up, and then kind of it's a way for kids to actually show their parents what they're doing while they're here. So have a debate on one of the bills that people presented last year, or one of the proposals, or have MJP present one side of the case. I don't know, like something like that.
Yeah, it sounds almost like a concert or something, or a play or something that you would sell tickets to. It sounds like you're kind of doing a demonstration. That's cool. I like it. I think raffles are still doable. Even online, you could sell raffle tickets online. Probably have to look a little bit more into it, but that is something you probably could still do.
I mean, also, I feel like another COVID-friendly thing that you might be able to do, it kind of depends on the comfort level. Like, if you wanted to do, like, how you usually do, like, bake sales, but instead, like, you'd be able to just drop the food off at somebody's house or, like, a doorstep. It kind of depends on the person if they're comfortable with it. But it's, like, you can advertise, like, what you're selling, and if somebody wants to bake them, and depending on who's nearest to your house, you can just have it dropped off at your house for some price.
Yeah. You have to be very careful with those. A lot of schools aren't allowing them anymore. So make sure that with any fundraiser, you really want to get clearance from your principal and your teacher or advisor. It's just a good idea ahead of time to see what is and isn't allowed. So while you're planning it, one of the big major first things that you should do is sit down with your advisor and then your principal and say, this is what I want to do. Is that cool? Definitely. Adam's joining in twice. Delaney?
One thing that our school had talked about is doing like can and like bottle returns. And then while we're like going and asking for people if we could return their bottles for them, we are gonna make just one big GoFundMe. So for every like type of advertisement we had, we just give the same link so we could keep the money all together.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I mean, GoFundMe is one of those fundraising pages could work too, and then your whole delegation could share via social media. And then if your grandma or auntie or whoever wants to donate, you know, they can do that right online. Giving Tuesday is coming up too, right around November. So you could also do something then.
What about selling masks? I mean, they're super cheap to buy. So, like, if you're to buy them, and then, I mean, the upfront cost might be something, but maybe selling masks. I don't know.
You could even
Like
make
tie-dye
masks.
them.
Yeah, and tie-dye them.
You could make them too. Yeah, that was a good point, Sia. If you have like a mom or somebody, or even you're crafty, it's a good idea.
You should sell cookie dough.
You could do that.
I loved when I sold cookie dough, like
You
for
used to
high
eat more of the
school.
cookie dough than you sold at Easton.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I never cooked them. I just ate them out of the freezer.
So another thing that you can do right now is you can get in contact with the local organizations that are in your community. So often there's Kiwanis Club, Optimist Club, Rotary, Lions, League of Women Voters. There are so many clubs that are around. So you can always, you know, I would recommend calling them, or you could write a letter to them and just tell them a little bit about youth in government and, you know, how you're trying to raise some money for your delegation or for yourself individually. You guys can decide what you guys want to do as a delegation. Are you fundraising for everybody or just individually? And so you just write them a letter or give them a call. And often the only thing they ask is after the conference, you come in and do some kind of a presentation for their meeting, talking about how you did and what you experienced. Maybe bring some pictures. And more than likely it'll be virtual too. So not a whole lot of difficulty this year with that. So think about community. Who in your community can help you out? Any other ideas for fundraisers?
Our school does it for like a different purpose, but if any other delegation want to, we do something called leaf relief. And basically you go and like, it's kind of like idea with the snow, you rake people's leaves, and normally do it for Thanksgiving giving, like we collect cans, but people could collect monetary donations to support youth in government.
It's a great idea.
I guess another thing you could do is you could just do like some yard work for someone, or like shovels like some driveways or like sidewalks, you know, especially when like, you know, winter comes around, when it first starts coming out.
Yeah.
I heard cleaning shoes. People will bring 2 pairs of shoes in for $5-10, and it's a good way to make money.
Like shining shoes, or
I mean, you just clean a shoe. Like some people really want their shoes like bright white, and they got them dirty over a course of a month, and they're like, make it brand new again. And you just got to learn how to do it properly for what materials, and completely refurbish the shoe.
Huh. That's actually an interesting point, Miles. And another thing you should think about when fundraising is, you know, what are some things that, you know, are happening in your community or part of your community's culture that are important. So if you're from like primarily like a agricultural community, you know, there's some specific things that happen in those types of towns that, you know, you could fundraise with that. Whereas if you're from like the city, it's going to be different. So think about, you know, what's up in your community and kind of keep that in mind as you're planning a fundraiser. Like farmers markets, you know, something like at a farmers market that you could sell. Cool. Well, if you need help requesting a donation from, like, for example, Holland has Gentex and also like Hudsonville Ice Cream, several different businesses there that you could request money from or a donation from. And so a good idea is to write them a letter. And we actually have a sample letter in our toolkit that you can use. And it looks like this, and you can just like make a copy or download it in Word and kind of edit it to make it your own. But this is a good starting place, and I made a new one that kind of is more geared toward the virtual experience that we're having right now. So don't be afraid to use this and send out several letters if you want. Cool. Any other good ideas for fundraisers? Remember what you guys are saying here, everybody's seeing, so it's going to be super helpful. And it doesn't have to be from youth and government. Maybe your church or another organization you're a part of did a fundraiser that worked really well.
I think somebody already said this. I'm not quite sure, but I really think the bottle idea is really, really helpful. I know that for a different organization that I was a part of, we did a bottle can return. And especially now during quarantine, people have a lot of bottles at home and they're not really going to go do it because it's tedious and things like that. So you can either do what we did personally was we went in our own respective neighborhoods. So we get more cans if you live in a neighborhood or just like in the houses around you. We made flyers and we went either door to door and handed out the flyers and like explained for like a quick minute, less than that, like what gig is all about. Or you can just kind of just like slip the flyers into people's mailboxes and just say either if you want to contactless delivery, just keep it outside your door or at the end of your driveway and we'll pick it up on this day and time. So that's what we did. It worked pretty well. I mean, I still have cans sitting in my driveway from it. So
yeah, the school that I help coach for, they also their band does a bottle drive, and they usually get about $400 or $500 from it actually. So that's a great idea. It's just like you said, a little tedious, but if everybody works together and you guys kind of, plan it out right, it should be really successful.
And I mean, obviously it's COVID, but I mean, we found it helpful if you did it with a partner. So I don't know if you masked up and just kind of went to different houses at different times. It was just, it's fun if you do it with a partner more than doing it alone because it's quite tedious alone.
The only thing about that is that right now they're still very restrictive on how many cans you can bring in because I know that Myers and stuff, they were pretty restrictive for a while. I'm not 100% sure if they're still restricted, but I know that during COVID, you could only bring in like a bag of cans at a time.
Yeah, I think it's like $25 max. Still, I think I was just there yesterday, and that's what I think the sign said was like $25 worth of cans.
I think it's like per day per person. So I think if you went in with like a couple more people or something.
Or if you just went at different times of the day too, like
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like, well, when we did it, I got maybe $5 worth of cans, and so we all. I mean, obviously with COVID, you have to figure it out, but I'm sure per person you'd average a little less than $25. So if you just have everybody return, some people will get like 40, some people will get 5, and some people will get 12 cents because somebody left 2 pennies in a can.
I was like, wait a second, how? Oh,
yeah.
happens.
And I mean, sometimes they'll just give you donations on the spot. Like when I was doing it, I think at least $50 in just random cash donations because they were just like, here you go. John, if you're talking, you're muted, just so you know.
I know. I went to so many houses and yet I got nothing pretty much. It's fine.
Oh, well, you just probably didn't have the charm, John. Sorry.
I think another good thing to think about right now is also who is needing help right now with everything going on with the pandemic. A lot of our older community, they need people to help them do various things. So could be a good opportunity there.
You could volunteer to help, not volunteer, but you could like say like for a small fee of like maybe $5-10, I can go pick up your groceries for you, or just kind of go to public places that your immune system can handle, but theirs might not be able to, like the grocery store. Or even just like cooking them a meal, because that's what I did for a couple elderly people in my community. It's just they're not able to go out, and a lot of them aren't really able to cook a full meal, and they aren't having like their family and friends like come over and help. So it's always a good option.
Yeah.
You gotta be good at cooking first.
No
My
better
mom
time to
cooked-
learn than in quarantine, Miles.
Cool. All right. Well, these are great ideas, and I appreciate you bringing them all up. Because again, people watching at home can get some ideas for their own delegation. The biggest thing that Adam brought up in the fundraising guide that I think is important to think about is if you ask for a donation rather than a specific amount, people tend to give you a little bit more. Not everyone, but a lot of times people will give you more than what you would have originally asked for. So keep that in mind as well, depending on, what you're doing. Maybe just ask for a donation rather than a specific amount. Adam, how did you come up with that idea?
Mary, you made this thing. You've been giving me credit this whole time, but I didn't put
No.
this together.
Well, you made that up, and you made some of it. We worked together.
Well, thanks.
Whatever. Anyway, so let's switch gears over to service. Adam. And then we also have like a sheet that you can take with you. If you were at DLR last year, this is kind of what you guys went over with your service cohort or group. But there are lots of different possibilities, and you guys will have access to this. You'll get this in the follow-up email. But a lot of community engagement activities that you can do, and then also just service projects in general. What do you guys think are the benefits of doing service projects with your delegation?
I think it shows that YIG is more than just government, and there's a lot more. It's more community based.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what YIG is about like teaching good like citizenship or stewardship. I don't know, of our communities. And I mean, part of that's obviously, if you can vote, go out and vote. If you can, like, go out and like register people and things like that, but also, yeah, just taking care of your communities. And if people see us out there and we're like, hey, we did this for our community, then selfishly, we might also get some more donations and things.
Mm-hmm. Any other ideas? Cool. I would agree with all those. Oh, go ahead, Delaney.
I'm not. We like had discussed some things, so we have like cross country meets and stuff like that, and quite a few like of our delegation, of our like delegates are at those sports events. So if we went there and like promoted YIG and like what we were doing, just because there's people there already involved, we could get some donations that way. But we're just throwing out ideas because a lot of sports seasons are ending early, but just trying to get somewhere out where a lot of community members are, not even just from our school itself, is one way we're thinking about.
Yeah. I think you guys are kind of onto this. Like, often fundraising and community engagement can kind of go together. Not all the time, they don't have to, but they can. So it's a really good point. Well, on the screen, there's some different community engagement ideas. The big thing about this, I think, is it brings you closer as a delegation too. You learn more about each other, you spend time together, just brings you into more of a tight-knit group. So a lot of them, you could invite your local legislators to these as well, which is actually could be a lot of fun. So either your state, representatives, or even local government. Don't forget your local government people as well. On partnering with different organizations, for example, most counties have historical commissions that need help for things. For example, Eaton County has a cemetery tour that they do, and they always need people to dress up as reenactors and kind of give little speeches and dress in old clothes and pretend that they're some of the people from that are buried in that cemetery. It's kind of morbid, but it could be fun. You're acting and getting together and helping out a local organization. So there are so many different opportunities to get involved with your community. And then also, if you want to do purely a service project, local libraries, volunteering at nursing homes, all sorts of things, organizing a 5K, plan an Earth Day or a Martin Luther King Jr. Day of service event, all sorts of things that you can do. Do any of you right now do any service events or service projects or like community engagement events with your delegation that you really like?
Let's just start if anyone does any of them, Mary.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Doesn't look like it.
We were planning on doing them. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. Go ahead, Sia.
We were planning on doing them. Like we had a list of ideas that we were gonna do, and then COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, we were gonna come up with a big list and present them to the school board, and we don't have a middle school gig yet, and we were gonna go try to present to the administration over there, and then COVID hit, and we're gonna have our first in-person meeting next week, so hopefully we can get kind of some of those ideas back on board.
Recruiting for a middle school YIG is also a really great idea. I like it. Very cool. Sia, what were some of your projects that you had on your list?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think we were gonna go. But we have a couple retirement centers around our area, so I think because then we have a lot of elementary students who go and help out over there. So kind of talk with representatives there to see if we could tailor that to a more high school setting, more than just sitting there and playing board games with them. And then I think we were gonna talk to teachers because our school does something called Project Term, and one of the classes that we have is a lot of community service-based things. So probably talk to some of those teachers because we can do like graveyard cleanup or just park and beach cleanups and things like that. So I think those were some of our major ideas. I don't know if we had any more, John.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a thing where we were going to be like, all right, because we had a class for it. We were going to figure out what we wanted to do and then plan it in the like weeks after conference. But those didn't happen.
Cool. Anyone else have like service or community? And it doesn't have to be with YIG. It could be any organization you're in.
Kind of along the lines of like what Sia was saying, I'm in the youth advisory committee for my city, and we were talking about like writing, like having like kind of the pen pal idea with some citizens on elderly homes, just because like right now their visitors are limited due to COVID, just so they can feel like they're like in touch with the people in the community, that somebody still like cares about them and I talk to them.
Yeah, that's a great idea to like write them cards, write them letters, or even, if you had an event where you went outside to talk to them through the windows and held up signs or whatever, that would make them smile. That's a great idea. I like it.
Oh yeah, like a little poster outside the window, that'd be cute.
Yeah.
Another idea I guess you could do is if you just did like a day with your delegation, you guys could make the food basket bags. That's a really simple thing to do, and somebody can just drop them off.
Yeah, often you can partner with local organizations like Loaves and Fishes and things like that also.
Has anybody heard of Nestlings? Because I know you can do diaper packing there. I don't know what it is under COVID, but you can do a lot of like diaper packing, and even just like food drives and can drives would also be really helpful to do, especially during right now.
Yeah, we're headed in toward Thanksgiving, so that's a good idea. Very timely for food baskets.
You think auctioning off those food baskets would be something?
Yeah, you could do something like that.
I know
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. In Holland, we have, and I don't know, like if this is a statewide or even national thing, but in Holland, there's this thing where like every year we get bags, and then the USPS in the area distributes the bags so that like everybody gets a bag in their mailbox, and and then they can fill it with food, and that will get delivered to food pantries for free. But those bags have to be folded, and so every year a few of like teachers at our school will force their homerooms to spend like a month folding like 12,000 bags. And so I don't know if any other city has that, but I know that's something we might be interested in doing.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other ideas that are COVID friendly for service?
Registering people to vote.
It's a great one.
I mean, we're running out of time, but what is it, until the 19th? I think you can still get kids registered. So
Yeah, I think, and I know Lydia would agree that that is a great one. So you could even set up, at area businesses, and like high traffic area businesses might let you set up a table with 1 or 2 people, of course, socially distanced with your mask, but to do that, that's great.
Does Michigan have same-day voter registration? I don't remember.
I think they do now. Yes.
I thought.
is it? I think you just have to go to like the city clerk's office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, because I heard that somebody, I was talking to people, they got same-day voter registration.
And
so,
we do have pre-registration. You just have to be 17 and a half. So obviously, like, you won't be able to vote in this election probably, but next year for any city offices, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I think earlier I was, Sia made me think of this, but don't forget that you can also do silent auctions online. I'm not quite sure how to do this. You have to do a little of looking into it, but I know people are currently doing silent auctions online. So if you got community members to donate, gift cards or like small gift baskets to your group, then you could put them online and do like a silent or like a bidding war online or like a mini auction to raise some money, and then also engage with your community a little bit, get your name out there. Any other good ideas? You guys have had so many already tonight. Don't forget thinking about getting in contact with your local legislators, and then especially right now because it's coming up to November, so they want to get their name out there, especially if they're up for re-election, like people running for sheriff. You could sponsor a debate in your community or like a virtual debate. You could just have them come on and talk to you and do like a podcast on it. And then or live stream like an interview with them. So there's lots of opportunities now because the elections are this like coming up really quickly that you could engage with these people, local or state level. Adam, did you have something?
Yeah, just be a moderator that you can mute people, because we don't want it to be like the presidential debate, guys. So what a disaster that was.
I don't know. It was pretty entertaining.
Make sure that if you do something with the political campaigns that you're engaging both sides or like all the candidates to make sure that you have a balanced viewpoint. I just tell you that because Youth in Government is a nonpartisan organization. We don't support either side. So make sure you have, everybody talking. That way you're letting your community be well informed.
Also with that, I would agree with Mary, but also with that, if you're having like 2 separate sides or 2 different political candidates, make sure you do your research about those political candidates before inviting them. Just sometimes we don't want any mishaps or something like that. So just do your research. Don't just call up random political candidates. Do your research, because that's always better.
Yeah, if it's like a hot race right now, like there's a it's really close, that could be a fun one to do. Do your research though, Sia's right, and then maybe come up with a list of questions ahead of time that are specific to their race, and that way you have something to go on when you're the moderator. And maybe you meet with them ahead of time and just tell them how it's going to work. Maybe do like some kind of quick meeting with them. Cool. Any other great ideas? All right, well, that's all the questions I have, Adam. Do you have any others or any other like thoughtful things that we should discuss about service or fundraising?
No, not about either of those things. But I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Sia, John, you guys only have 2 people registered. What's going on over there? Well, there's 3. You 2 and Riley.
Is that it?
That's it. So.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
a mess.
okay, as long as you guys know that. And then I
I
was
really
just looking
thought
at all of your
my messages
rosters.
were coming out. I've been like spamming our group me, like spamming it with register, show up to these meetings. And I thought people were seeing it because people have emailed me about payment things. So I assumed they were registered.
Nope, there are 3 of you signed up, and 2 of you are on this call. So it's okay. I mean, I'm just wanted to make sure, Miles, there's just you that signed up from Beale City so far. Okay, just making sure that everyone knows this. Delaney, it's just you and Maya. Is that expected?
We are having a meeting next week in person to go over like the registration process because a lot
Perfect.
of the delegates are new. Yeah.
Sweet, sounds good. And then Madeline, Petoskey, you guys are just absolutely destroying it. You guys have like, well, I guess you guys only have 10 people registered. So is that the size of your delegation this year, or?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Okay, all right.
They're all meeting in person, and they don't have a way for me to attend the meetings since I can't go in person. So
Gotcha.
I don't know.
All that matters, though, is that you are registered on here and
Right.
paid. So thank you. All right. Well, if you guys can just continue pestering people to get registered. I mean, our fall conference is the 16th, so they have to be registered by the 13th to be part of the fall conference. So just make sure they're registered and paid up by then so they can vote for the elections for the people that are running for positions.
Right. And if you know people from other delegations as well, it would be helpful if you shot them a text and said, hey, like, are you guys registered? Just to let them know, because if people don't attend the fall conference, and we do have something in person in the spring, we don't know yet, we're not going to know until December, that's going to put them at a disadvantage for that event. So make sure we want them to attend fall conference. We want everybody to be there as much as possible. So yeah, tell your friends and other delegations to get them registered too.
And then just remember that there's 2 processes. There's one of making your account on Wild Apricot. Then the second thing is actually registering for the event. So you got to do 2 different things to make sure you're registered.
Does the registration video go over both things?
Nope. I think the registration video only goes over making an account. I can add on to that. Did I actually even make a registration video for this?
You did, but
You
did it for registering for the event, I think, because that was where people were having trouble.
Okay. Yeah. So then I can make one I guess do the whole process.
Sure.
And then the other thing that I wanted to put out there is make sure if you guys are running for a position that you get your petition sent into us on the website into YIG. We're going to put that petition on the website as well. So when people are clicking, they think they like you as a candidate, they can click on your petition there as well as you continue getting signatures from 50 plus people outside of, your delegation, and then whoever else, anybody else that has a heartbeat can sign it. So we just want you guys to get 50 signatures beforehand.
I would love it if more people signed up to run for leadership positions too, whether it's lieutenant governor or speaker of the house, which are essentially the same right now.
We need more leadership, man.
Yeah, we need more leadership. So, and we only have a few people signed up right now because I know it's going to come pouring in the next week and a half, but even for governor. So, this is a great year to run because I feel like it's on more of an even footing. We're going to have leadership candidates meet and record videos together. So I feel like it's going to be a good year to run. Don't let the whole virtual thing or not a whole lot of my delegation are going to be here this year hold you back. And tell your friends that, like, good year to run. We need more leadership. So please run.
And it's and on top, it's a good year also partially because you don't have to buy anything.
Yep.
Like in past years, unfortunately, it has kind of been, even for speaker, lieutenant governor, you have to buy something, like whether, even if it's just like candy with your name stapled to it or something. But this year you don't have to buy anything, so save some money.
Yeah. I believe the next upcoming events are, I don't know if Lydia has mentioned this yet, but next Thursday, which is the 8th, I believe. Is that correct, Adam? I'm crazy. I think it's the 8th. People who are candidates for leadership are meeting to record their videos. So that is a good thing to kind of jot on your calendar if you're running currently. The other thing is the next major time we meet is going to be the 16th for fall conference. So it is coming up that quickly, guys. And so we're going to do candidate town halls on the 16th, as well as program area breakouts. So if you have people who are yet undecided about what area they want to be a part of, that would be a great call for them to be at, and make sure that they're listening to. It's up to you guys how you guys log in for that fall conference, whether you log in on one computer and you're all there in the room, however you want to do it. Talk with your advisors about it. But those are the kinds of things we're going to be talking about at fall conference on the 16th. And then right after that is when the polls open, I believe, Adam, right?
Yep, they'll be open for like a week they'll be open for, so people can vote. If they can't make it to the event, they can vote for the upcoming week. And then on the 23rd, we're gonna bring everyone back together and announce the winners.
Yep, so those are our upcoming events, and yep, just general reminders about registration and keep on I know it's hard to recruit this year. I know it's really hard, but keep it up. You guys are great. You're fabulous. You're here. So we love you. What? Adam's glaring.
Speak for yourself, Mary. I'm
Okay,
just kidding.
well, I'm glad you volunteered. Adam's making faces.
I'm just joking, guys.
All right. So we have like 5 minutes left. Anything anybody else wants to bring up or talk about or they need ideas for?
Yeah, I have a question. How does one sign up for leadership positions?
That is a great question. Adam, do you want to cover that? Nope, Adam's on the phone. Never mind. Okay, so Adam, you cover it on the phone. Anyway, so when you sign up for a membership account on Wild Apricot, that's step 1, right? During step 2 is where you sign up to run for leadership, for an elected position. So when you click on event registration and then choose like high school student, in there is where you would click the drop down. Yeah, I'm running for leadership, whether it's for NIF presiding officer, lieutenant governor, speaker of the house, or governor. So those are all the ones right there. When we get closer to the spring, then we'll bring in the appointed positions like committee chair and whatnot. So we're not worrying about those quite yet. But that's where you would register and type in your answers to all those questions about why you want to run for that position and whatnot.
What if we're already registered? Can I still go in and change my thing?
I believe you can. I wish Adam were not on the phone right now. He knows the process a little bit better, but I believe you can go in and fix that. So if you have a delegation member or you are interested in running for something you already submitted, just go ahead and send us an email, either the staff at MEIC.org or Mary at MEIC.org or Adam. And we'll help you do that if you can't figure it out. Because I think another person asked us that the other day and we had to figure that out with them. So we'll do it. We need more NIF presiding officer candidates.
I was just gonna say I was gonna sign up to run for that. I don't really what does a PO do? It sounds interesting. I just don't know what it does.
So do you remember how the alumni usually that come in and run General Assembly?
I have done NIF once and it was last year over Zoom because
Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, MJP didn't happen, so I did NIF. I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I'm probably gonna do it again. But
that's good.
They need somebody to run.
So during General Assembly, essentially they just kind of act the role of like a committee chair would, but on like a more like elevated level. Being a PO is pretty prestigious. At like Conference on National Affairs, for example, the POs are usually graduated seniors, but we're trying to make it like an option for you guys as well. So yeah, you have to know the process really well, the order of business and whatnot, and be able to kind of run that as like a chair, essentially.
Where do I learn about that? Because I don't know it super well, but if I wanted to learn about it, I could.
That's a very good question. If you go into that toolkit that John
Okay.
shared, I'll make sure tonight that like the order of business and whatnot is in there, so you can kind of look it over and check that out. But a really good one, if you want, you guys can always reach out to us. We can pair you up with people who have done those positions in the past, and you can ask questions and kind of get more information. I have no problem with that. So I could, give you an alumni contact info, and they could be like, hey, this is what we do.
I mean, that'd be nice. I mean, it sounds interesting.
Yeah, you definitely could do it. John Lower's laughing. What are you laughing at, John?
Wow, John has no faith in me.
Okay. Cool. All right, guys.
Sorry, I'm trying to sense it.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, it is 4:30. I want to be respectful of your time, but thank you so much for being here. And if you have any last minute questions, feel free to hang out and we'll be here.